Fighting words, a lawyer for embattled Congressman John Conyers saying his client sure as hell isn't going to be pressured into stepping down by House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. Representative Pelosi recently calling Conyers an icon, seeming to have changed her heart a little bit.
The allegations against Congressman Conyers, as we have learned more since Sunday, are serious, disappointing, and very credible. It's very sad. The brave women who came forward are owed justice. I pray for Congressman Conyers and his family and wish them well. However, Congressman Conyers should resign.
That was sort of her second bite at the apple. I don't know if it works the second time around. Multiple Democrats, including most of their House leadership, now saying Conyers should step down. Here now is Representative Diane Black, Congressman from Tennessee and the House Budget Committee chairman. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, so there is this debate going on right now. If you work for a company and you're, sort of proven to have done things that were, not in line with the company policy, the company can fire you. If you're a congressperson, though, the voters elected you. Are they the ones to fire you, or should you step down? What's your opinion?
I believe that Representative Conyers needs to step down immediately. When we find out, when it has been exposed what he has done and the way that we have used public taxpayer dollars to settle this case is just deplorable to me. I had no idea, and so we must not be held. We must be held accountable. We can't be higher than the public. We must be held accountable.
It is shocking that he would use taxpayer dollars one way or the other in order to settle a problem, that he created. Instead of paying for it himself, he's going to get all of us to do it and continue on his way. I know that you signed the Congressional Accountability Act. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to just say what he did was despicable. But beyond that, to have taxpayer dollars being used is just beyond belief for me. And so what this bill does is it clearly places into law the fact that we cannot use taxpayer dollars to settle these cases of sexual harassment. But it goes a little further than that. It actually also says any of these cases that have been there previously, that they are made public. The public should know. If this has been a case that occurred here and the Ethics Committee has information on it, it should be made public. And we're going to be sure that no more dollars are ever used to settle these kinds of cases as well.
I'm amazed that you have to pass a law now that would say that you can't use taxpayer dollars in order to silence and mitigate problems like these in the past. I mean, if somebody harassed somebody, I'm surprised it was ever legal to use taxpayer dollars to solve that problem. If they do come out and expose whoever else these monies have been paid for, what happens to those people? I mean, what's the bar? Where do you decide that someone can stay and someone should go?
This is the Ethics Committee that makes those decisions, and so those kinds of cases go to the Ethics Committee, and I do have a lot of confidence in the leader of that committee right now. Susan Brooks is a former attorney general, and I think she is a former U.S. General. But she is a great lady, and I think she will do what needs to be done in these cases. I think that he ought to have enough shame that he would just step down without even going through the process, given what information has been exposed at this point in time.
There's probably people wondering, would you have the same condemnation if it was somebody on your own side of the aisle?
Absolutely, I would. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, male or female. This kind of activity cannot be accepted. It is totally unacceptable. It's acceptable out in the private sector. We certainly are not above the law here, and I would be incensed if one of my colleagues on my side of the aisle was doing this, and I would expect that they would step down, and we would call for their resignation to step down.
What are your thoughts on this moment that we're experiencing in our country right now?
Well, I will say that it is not a very proud moment, and it is one where we once again will say that you can never be above the law. We have to treat each other with consideration and respectability, and I'm just really disappointed that what we're seeing is people, very big names, both in the public and private sector, that think that they can have behavior that is above the law, and it is very, very disappointing.
Yeah. All right, Congressman, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.